Good morning, everybody. This is vlog day 47. Probably 15 or 20 of my vlogs of those 47 have been on the wilderness, and that might be getting monotonous. I don't know for you. But one of the problems of the wilderness is it is monotonous. That was yesterday's vlog, the monotony of the wilderness. And God's people got bored, got impatient, got whiny and complaining and murmuring and bitter and filled with resentment, and they wanted to quit. See Numbers 14, 1 through 4 and 10. In fact, they actually wanted to kill God's appointed leader in verse 10. And they wanted to go back to the slavery of Egypt, which that doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's what they were desiring. And it is so often true of God's people. When they don't like where God has led them, especially when it's the wilderness, they attack God's leader. It happens all the time. But what God's people don't know is that even though they are have eternal security, and I do believe that, because they're God's people, God can get to the place where He has had enough of them too. In the present moment. This usually shows up when God's people attack God's appointed leaders. All through the Bible, that's when God's had enough. Numbers 14, 11, and 12 says this, and the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be until they believe me? For all the signs which I have showed them, I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and will make of you, Moses, a great nation, mightier than they. Or God is saying, I have had enough, I quit. Someone says, well, that's the God of the Old Testament, not the God of the New Testament. But I want to remind you of 1 Corinthians 8, 11, and 12, where it tells us that that all the things written in the Old Testament, every one of them, were given to warn us or admonish us not to be like the children of Israel in the Old Testament. Especially how they were in the wilderness. Read 1 Corinthians 8, 1 through 12, 13. And then verse 12, it says, wherefore, because of all that happened to the children of Israel in the wilderness, let him who's in the church today that thinks he standeth because of eternal security, because God's got him, take heed lest he fall. And many Christians do fall. Paul talks about grieving the Holy Spirit and quenching the Holy Spirit, just turning God off for yourself. Don't let that happen. And we have a better promise than the Old Testament Jews in the wilderness had. We have much better situation. 1 Corinthians 8:13 says that God is able and going to give us a way to escape our failures. I am so thankful for that. Doesn't mean we won't have failures, but He gives us a way through to deliverance. And that way is Christ Himself fighting for us. We can't deliver ourselves. He delivers us. 1 Timothy 2:5 says this, that Jesus is the mediator between God and man. And Romans 8:26 tells us that the Holy Spirit makes intercession for us. He prays for us. Our next vlog is going to look at the mediator, the intercession, the fact that there's someone standing up for us. But in closing, the monotony of the wilderness is a dangerous thing. It can get us into a lot of trouble with God. We can grieve Him and quench Him, turn Him off in the moment for us. So in the wilderness, fill your mind and your thoughts with Jesus Christ. look at him, focus on him, focus on the promises and on the future hope of the promised land. I love what somebody once said about Joshua and Caleb. They knew they had 40 years before they could get in the promised land. They knew that it was going to be a long 40 years. And somebody said about Joshua and Caleb, every Sabbath morning, they'd get up and jog to the Jordan to take a look. You can't get in trouble when you jog to the Jordan and take a look at the promised land. May God bless you today.